I'm about to break down Channel Surfer, a bold little idea that turns YouTube into a retro cable TV mood board. Think of it as a nostalgia filter for the internet, where the chaos of the algorithm gets swapped out for a grid, a schedule, and a sense that you're flipping through channels rather than scrolling through feeds. Personally, I think this taps into a deeper craving, the joy of discovery without being treated to 10 different variants of the same video from a single algorithmic funnel. Imagine a dashboard laid out like a 1980s, 1990s cable guide, but instead of channels about sports or news, you have 40 channels built from human-curated content categories. Gardening, geopolitics, and music, diverse enough to feel like context rather than a single niche. One thing that immediately stands out is the deliberate mix. You're not chasing a single topic, you're chasing serendipity with boundaries. From my perspective, that combination is rare on today's hyper-tailored internet, where your next video is usually a personalized cameo of your last one. Channel Surfer isn't just a pretty grid, it schedules the videos at fixed times. You can flip between channels, but you can't skip ahead, rewind, or pause. The constraint is the whole point. It creates a rhythm, like a TV night where you wait for your favorite show to come on, not a buffer of endless options. This is a design choice that forces you to engage with the flow rather than the fast-forward mindset we've all trained ourselves into. What many people don't realize is that this limitation actually increases friction in a way that can sharpen curiosity. If you can't jump to the end, you pay closer attention to what's in front of you. The project is by British developer Stephen Irby, who told TechCrunch he's tired of algorithms and indecision fatigue. I miss channel surfing and not having to decide what to watch. That confession lands with a lot of people who feel overwhelmed by recommendation engines. In my opinion, this isn't simply nostalgia for a primitive interface, it's a critique of how decision fatigue shapes our media diets. If you take a step back and think about it, channel surfing was a social habit as well. You discover a quirky documentary or a sci-fi clip because you were in the middle of a journey, not because a system expected you to be there. From a creator's angle, Channel Surfer reframes how content gets surfaced. The grid becomes a storytelling device. You glimpse a mosaic of topics, each tickle of a title like a breadcrumb toward a larger curiosity. A detail I find fascinating is how the platform nudges you to treat discovery as an event, not a reaction. You're following a schedule, and that creates anticipation. What this really suggests is that the medium can shape our attention strategies just as much as the content itself. In the broader trend of media UX, we are seeing a slow fight back against endless loops, with experiments that resurrect antenna constraints to reignite real curiosity. Let's zoom into a few concrete ideas that Channel Surfer unlocks. Curated serendipity versus algorithmic taste-makings. The set of 40 channels is a curated playground that invites you to wonder. My interpretation, it's a pushback against the comfort of, similar to what you watched. It trains you to view a video not as a familiar echo, but as a potential new favorite. This matters because it could reset what we consider worth watching. What people misunderstand is that curation by a human-like grid isn't necessarily narrower. It can be broader, depending on how the channels are designed. This hints at a trend where human-curated or semi-automatic curation competes with pure personalization. The scheduling constraint as a narrative device. You can't pause or skip, time becomes a storyline you write. My take, the constraint creates an ambient suspense, like watching a live event unfold. It might encourage viewers to commit to a few minutes of each video, rather than binging raw, endless content. This aligns with a broader shift toward ritual watching, where audiences assemble a routine around media consumption. The discovery from titles as intent signals. Seeing a heading like Boron-Based Life, Aliens of the Crystal Deserts, triggers a cognitive spark. It's not just a clickbait hook, it's a prompt to chase a trade. From my view, this underlines a larger design principle: let curiosity lead, then supply the map later. It's less about predicting the exact video you want and more about priming you to notice unusual, potentially rewarding ideas. Deeper insight, Channel Surfer feels like a cultural experiment embedded in a simple UI. It's a response to information overload, a reminder that sometimes the best way to re-engage with media is to reduce choice, not increase it. If enough people try this, we might see more mini ecosystems of content where the interface itself trains a different kind of attentiveness, short bursts, cross-disciplinary hints, and a playful tension between discovery and legacy formats. Closing thought, what if more platforms offered a channel surf mode, one that blends fixed schedules with limited interactive controls and a human-curated channel grid? The potential isn't just nostalgia, it's a testbed for new attention economics. Are we ready for a media diet that prizes curiosity over consumption velocity? If you found this take interesting, tell me which channel you'd want to explore first and why. Would you prefer more channels focused on science, arts, or world affairs? Also, what's your comfort level with restricting skipping? Could this become a standard feature in future viewing experiences, or is it a gimmick that only works for nostalgia? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more breakdowns like this, I've got plenty more angles cooking for the next video.